Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all things fall. It's so cozy and I have all of my favorite things. I've got a fall candle burning, I've got a cup of tea, I've got my coziest sweater on. I even picked my lipstick accordingly so it was kind of a fall color. I saw this book tag going around on BookTube lately and it just looks like so much fun, so I thought I would sit down and film it. This is the Cozy Fall book tag. It was created by the Book Bell. I will leave a link to her channel down below. You should go check it out because her video was so much fun to watch. Before we jump into the book tag, I just wanted to say a very quick thank you to everyone who supported me on the 2021 Always Fully Booked planner launch. I had the pre-orders go live on Friday, October 2nd. And you guys just completely blew me away with all of your love and support and all the nice messages you guys sent me. It was the best day ever. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. If you are interested in pre-ordering the planner, I will leave a link to it down below. I also have a video on my channel talking all about the planner. Also, you can check out my Instagram. There's tons of photos and videos of the planner there as well. But let's just jump into the Cozy Fall book tag. So question number 1 is, what book always reminds you of the fall? So for this one, as per usual, I can never just pick one book for book tags, so we're going with the trend again. I have actually a few suggestions for this question because a lot of books remind me of fall. First, I'm going to start off with pretty much anything Victoria Schwab has ever written. I just think her books are absolutely perfect for the fall. I picked for this one specifically Vicious and also The Savage Song, but I would say any book that she's written is absolutely perfect for the fall. There's just something about the way that she writes characters, but also the way that she builds worlds. They're just so atmospheric. The next book on my list for the first question is Discovery of Witches. This book just, for me, reminds me of fall, not just because of the setting that takes place in England and it's kind of set at like a school setting, but also just the characters in this book. There's vampires and witches, and I read this book in the fall and it was just so perfect for that setting. It's just a book you want to curl up with. Finally, the last book that reminds me of fall is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This book I read last year and it deals with secret societies at Yale. It was just so like dark and eerie. Like I said, it deals with secret societies, but there's also like magic and kind of like a bit of mystery through this plot. I read this book last year and I did enjoy it. It was much slower than I anticipated, but I think if you knew that going in, you might enjoy it a little bit more. So those are all the books for the first question. I promise I won't pick that many books for all of the questions, but that one I just couldn't choose because so many books remind me of the fall. Moving on, question number 2 is, what is your favorite autumn book cover? So for this one, I have 2, and I'm going to go really quickly. The first one is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This one, along with the first book, Serpent and Dove, I think these books remind me so much of fall, but this one specifically with the red and the gold and the black, and I think it just screams fall. If you haven't read these books, I highly recommend them because they're fantastic, and they're really great for fall as well. Next is a book that immediately came to mind when I heard this question, and that is The Enchantment of Ravens. This book cover just, to me, embodies fall. Just the colors, the bird on it, the tones of the book in general just remind me of fall. In fact, this book in general I think is all about fall. It deals with the fae and it has a lot of fall elements in it. So question number 3 is, what's your favorite fall drink to have while reading? For me, it's definitely tea. So I love to just like brew a cup, get a blanket and get a candle burning, and that just is it for me. That's fall. My favorite tea to drink in the fall is s'mores chai. It's from David's Tea. It is my all-time favorite fall beverage. Close second is the one I'm drinking today because I'm out of s'mores chai, and this is pumpkin chai. It's also fantastic. It's really good as a latte. Question number 4 is, do you prefer reading in the morning or in the night? For me, it's definitely in the night, although it does change a little bit on weekends. So during the week, I have a really busy schedule, usually with work. I get up, have a coffee, and immediately start working, and I don't really have a lot of time to read in the morning. So I get the majority of my reading done at night, unless I'm doing an audiobook, and if I'm like designing, I listen to an audiobook while I work sometimes. But for the most part, nighttime is my favorite, especially like after the house goes to sleep. Then everything's just so quiet and peaceful, and I get my little reading light. I get so much reading done during that time. On the weekends, however, if I have some time in the morning, I really like to just kind of lay on the couch with a book and curl up with my coffee and start my day that way if I can. Kind of depends on the day of the week, but for the most part, nighttime. Moving on to question number 5, which is Halloween is coming. What is your favorite spooky read? So I don't like reading scary stories. I don't like horror. I don't like anything that scares me. I am the biggest scaredy cat you've ever met in your entire life. I don't like things that scare me, so I typically don't read those books. So I don't really have a whole lot to offer. However, if you are a scaredy cat like me, I will give you I wouldn't say they're scary, but they're kind of thriller-ish, but for a wimp. The first one is House of Salt and Sorrows. I read this one earlier this year. I think this book would be fantastic to read in the fall. It's very eerie and mysterious. It just got ghosts and mystery around it. You don't really know what's happening for a lot of the book, and all of these sisters keep dying, and you need to figure out why they're dying, who's killing them, what's behind it. So I wouldn't say it's a scary story, but there's definitely a bit of mystery and thriller behind it, but on a much subdued level. And my other option is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This book is, again, like a thriller. It's not necessarily a scary story, but this book is so messed up, but I couldn't put it down. I needed to know what happened. It's very creepy and eerie, and like I said, like a thriller, very much like a psychological thriller, which is, if I was going to read a scary story, I would go towards that. Verity was insane. Those are my 2 picks for spooky reads, but I wouldn't necessarily classify them as spooky. Question number 6 is, what is your ultimate comfort read? So for me, typically comfort reads are anything that I can reread, anything I love to reread. So books that I'm really familiar with, that I never get bored of. One of my most read books is A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't love this trilogy as a whole, but this book in particular is a book I can read over and over again, and I love it. But my other answer for this question is books that make me smile, or books that just are like a warm hug, It makes you feel warm and happy and content. And I just finished a book just like that, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea. This book is magical. It's so endearing and lovely, and just, it's such a beautiful story, and it's so heartwarming, and I can't say enough good things about this book. I've been talking about it nonstop since I finished it. Even since before I finished it, I've been raving about this book. I absolutely love it. It's just so comforting. It's exactly what I said earlier. It's just like a warm hug wrapping you up, and it was exactly what I needed for 2020. I don't know about you guys, but this year has been interesting to say the least, and this book was exactly what I didn't know I needed. Do you know what I mean? This book, fantastic. Definitely one of my favorite books of the entire year. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite fall snack? I don't typically snack while reading, so I'm gonna kind of remove that from the equation. I don't like to eat while I read. I don't know why, but I don't. Putting that aside, my favorite fall snacks are pretty much anything pumpkin, pumpkin pie, pumpkin tarts. Just give me all the pumpkin. I also really like apple tarts, but it has to be tart because I don't like apple pie. I'm very strange about that. Pretty much just the classics, but pumpkin pie or pumpkin tarts are my go-to. I'll never say no. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite fall candle to burn while you're reading? I love having candles burning while I read. For me, for fall, I really like the classic scents, so pumpkin and apple, but they have to be mixed with something to cut the sweetness. I don't like overly sweet scents. It's just not for me. So if you have the classic pumpkin or apple, but mixed with something woodsy or spicy, that's what draws me. 2 of my current favorites, it's always changing. These are both from Bath & Body Works. The first one is Cranberry Woods. I love this one. It has the sweetness of the cranberry, but also has the woodsiness, so it's a perfect combination. I'm almost out of this one. I don't know if they make either of these anymore, so I'm sorry if they don't. My second favorite, I think, might be a Christmas candle, but I think it's perfect for the fall, and that's Spiced Chestnut. This is probably one of my favorite candles. It's almost gone, as you can see. It makes your whole house smell like you've been baking or roasting chestnuts all day. And the best fall scent. Oh, it's so good. Question number 9 is, when you're not reading, what is your favorite fall-based activity? I really like taking walks. We go to like a conservation area and all the trees have changed colors and it's got that like crisp, cool air, and when you walk you can hear the leaves. That's like ultimate perfection for me. I love being outdoors in the fall. If I can't be outside, if it's too cold or if it's raining, I really like watching TV. Gilmore Girls is what I'm watching right now. I think it's the perfect fall show. New to me this year is I have tried to teach myself a new hobby. I'm still in the very beginning, but I'm trying to teach myself how to do hoop embroidery. So this is the one I'm working on. I just got this really simple kit from Etsy that gives you the fabric, the hoop, the pattern, and the thread and needles that you need. Again, get a candle going and I turn on Gilmore Girls and just do this. And it's just really nice to do something with my hands while watching TV. I can't really sit still that long, so this is really nice to keep my mind active and my hands busy while watching a show. It just helps me like calm down. So I've been really liking this so far and I can see myself doing more of it. Finally, the last question number 10 is, what are some books on your autumn reading list? So I have 3 books that I would really like to get to this fall. The first one is The Night Circus. I have heard so many people talk about this book. I have put it off for so long. I'm excited for this one. I might do this one through audiobook. I've heard really good things about it, so that's my first pick. My second one is a book that comes out tomorrow when I'm filming this, but probably is already out by the time you're watching that, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. This is her newest book, and I have heard so many good things about it. I think it deals with time travel, but I haven't read a synopsis because I kind of want to go in blind. I love Victoria Schwab's writing, like I mentioned earlier. I think she is a perfect author to read in the fall. I pretty much love anything I've ever read by her. And she's written some of my favorite all-time books, so I'm very excited for her newest release. And finally, the last book on my autumn reading list is Wolf Song by TJ Klune. He is the author of The House in the Cerulean Sea. In my search after I finished that book and loved it, knew I wanted to read more by him, and I came across this series by him. And it's all about werewolves, which I think will be perfect for this autumn. I'm very excited about it. I've already ordered the first book. It's not quite here yet, but I'm really excited to check it out and get more of his writing. So those are the books on my fall reading list. I would love to hear from you guys. What are some books on your fall reading list? What books are you most looking forward to? Is there any books that just like scream fall that you're trying to read? Just let me know in a comment below. That's it for the Cozy Fall book tag. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I like doing book tags. I think they're really fun and it gives you guys a chance to not only maybe get some book recommendations, but maybe get to know me a little bit more. If you are not already, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. But that's it for me for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.